Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains. This is part 4 in the series of building this Union Station. So, in the last video, I kind of threw this together real quick to show you, how the overall effect of how this is going to look. But I had not glued the sides on, and as you can see, they're still not glued on. And yes, I did flip them around. This is the way they're intended to go. And there's a reason for that. I'm going to add an interior in this building. There are a couple other ways we can go, and I'm going to do a combination of things with the interior. The first option is to frost all the glass over so that everything just glows when you put lights inside. The building is so big that if I did that, it would look fine, but you're losing an opportunity to be able to see what goes on inside this thing. So what we're going to do is just a small combination of things. What I'm going to end up doing is we're going to frost over the roof windows for sure, because you don't want to have to look down, and it's too much to try to build a whole interior in there that you can see from the sides as well as from the top. So we're going to frost over the roof windows. And I think I'm also going to frost over this center section, the upper set of windows in here, on front and back. And then the sides, we're going to leave those as is, and we're going to build an interior that can be seen through the windows here. So I'm going to show you the process of what I go through to do this, to get this done. So what's going to end up happening is, from these windows here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, these are all going to be frosted. These bottom level are going to stay perfectly clear, so when you look inside, you'll actually see an interior. But the way we're doing it, I don't have to build an interior all the way up. Okay? And that's going to make things a little easier. So I get a little bit of both worlds. And then through these side windows, what we're going to do is we're going to use foam core board. And I'm going to divide up these sections in here. And I'm going to build an upper floor, a lower floor, and I'm going to divide the space into 3 sections in here. And then I'm going to light each of the 3 sections in the lower section. So it'll take 3 bulbs or 4 bulbs per section. So the way this is going to work, and let's take a look at what we got going on here. So we'll pull off this section here. Let's move this all out of the way. And what's going to happen is we have this section here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take foam core board, and we're going to build a floor. I'm going to cut this, and we're going to slip it in right down, right below this set of windows right here. We're going to slip it right below. There's a notch actually that runs right across here all the way around. We're going to slip a piece of this foam core board straight down in there. And I'm going to leave the whole bottom open as a big giant floor. Okay, and then the upper, once this piece is slid in this way, we're going to take another piece and we're going to cut it to go across this way. Okay, so I have a piece of paper here. We're just going to draw out real quick what's going to end up happening. So this square here is something like this. Okay, so when you're looking down from the top, there'll be a center divider going this way. It's not going to come all the way out to the end. And then we'll have a divider that comes out this way, like that. And this will come into it. And then we'll light this section, and this section, each with its own bulb. And those sections inside of here, alright, so this piece here will butt up against this window and go straight across. So this section here will be very narrow, but it doesn't need to be big to give that illusion of space. So when you're looking into these windows, we're going to create a backdrop that's going to glue to this foam core board on this side. So when you're looking in, you'll see that, and it'll look like offices or something. And we'll do something a little different for the bottom, but same idea, just a different picture on the bottom. And then we'll have a backdrop that's going to go on this side and this side. So we want to give the illusion of, let's say, a hallway or something along that lines, that, you know, we can put in our picture. We can put a doorway here, and then we can offset the doorway on this side, let's say over here, and maybe another one over here, so that it looks like the rooms are different rooms and they're not tied to each other. And that's what you'll see when you're looking in this window, and looking in this window won't be the same. So that's the idea. And then when you're looking at it from the end, so you have this view right here. There's the top and the sides and the bottom, and then it'll be divided down here, and then you'll have, this is the piece that goes across here, and then the piece that goes up will go this way, all the way up, and that'll divide it in half, and then another section on the bottom, and then the bottom floor will have its own lighting as well. And if I wanted to, I suppose we could kind of divide that up the same, but I kind of want it to look like a big room, whether it be a ticket selling room or anything like that. So that's the plan for these sections. Now this larger section, what I'm going to do, we'll go on the other side, is this is a rather large room. So when you're looking down on it, like this, so this is this. When you're looking down, we're going to divide it in half with a foam core board. And I'm going to create in my software a backdrop that goes on this side and a backdrop that goes on this side. And then I'm going to show you in a few minutes how we're going to create that. And then we'll cut through it, and there'll be 3 doorways here, 3 doorways here, and then a center section. And then this foam core that comes up in here doesn't need to go all the way up. It only needs to come, just past what you can see through the big doors, because we're going to frost these windows, so it only needs to come up about this high. Alright, and then we're going to put LEDs above it to light the whole center section. And on these sides, I just so you know, I'm not going to use LEDs on these. We're going to use incandescent bulbs. I have a whole bunch of small bulbs that I used on my layout earlier that I replaced with LEDs. I'm going to end up using those in here. So that's the plan with this. And why don't we, at this point, why don't I take you up to my computer and we'll take a look at how I create, or I'm going to create, the backdrops to glue onto the foam core board. And let's get that process started and see how this all goes. Okay, this is the software we're going to use. It's from Evans Designs. Here's the sheet that came with the software, just to show you the website and what else they have there. Okay, so now we're in the Model Builder program. This is made for making paper buildings and things like that for your layout. I'm going to use it for something a little different, and we're going to make our interior buildings. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to build the center divider wall in the center section of the building. So the first thing I want to do is turn this paper, our workspace, on its side. So we're going to go into page setup. I'm going to change this to landscape. Click OK. So now it's turned the other way. Okay, so now we need our wall. And actually, just so you know, this is showing actual feet in HO scale. Okay, so we're going to change the material. We're going to pick the wall material. I'm going to go into cement and stucco, which is where I've, in searching around, where I found the best thing that looks like, I want it to look like a marbly kind of wall. I'm going to pick this, and we're going to set this right in here. Now, I'm going to bring this down. We're going to set that wall to about 20 feet high. And in measuring that center section, we're going to go about 65 feet. Yeah, let's go the whole thing. We'll go 64 feet right there. Okay. Now, we want to add our doors in here. We need doors to go in here. So this is going to go, actually I'm going to make this, I changed my mind a little bit. I'm going to make this go up past the second story windows. This is all going to show. So that's why the 4 1/4 inches, the height on this is going to cover that whole thing. So let's add our doorway, arched doors, and I'm going to pick this door, and that looks like this. Now, looking at it just as it is, doesn't really look like an arched doorway for inside a train station. And I'm going to take another one and put it over here. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to back this off. So I'm going to back it off 1, 2, 3, 4 off the line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to back this off to right here. And we'll center it up at the bottom. Okay. So when I glue this to the foam core board, I'm going to take the X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut out these red doors, and these will make a pass-through from the front of the station to the back of the station. All right, and that's how that'll work. And I thought it looked good with these arches in the doors and these concrete things with a cement wall. And I know this is brick, but I don't think it's really going to make a difference inside the building. You're really not going to notice that very much. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to add some things in here. So when you walk into the station, you'll be greeted by these great grand doorways, arches, and so let's add something to that. So what I want to do is I want to put a train schedule board right in here. Now, I went on the internet earlier and I downloaded one and I edited it in my paint shop program. So let's get that in here. We're going to go here. We're going to import. And we're going to say OK. And it's a JPEG. So, and that's this picture right here. Let's add that in here. So now it's on my mouse. I'm just going to drop it here. And there we go. So let's stretch this out like that. And it's not there. Let's try that again. Let's import this, open. Okay, so let's stretch it out. And then we'll make the height a little better. And I'm going to line this up with the tops of these doors like this. All right, so now we have a train scheduling board up here, and these are all the train numbers, the trains' destinations, and whether they're on time or delayed. Now, below this seems a little plain to me, so I want to add some artwork to that. Now, I'm going to go to plugins, and I'm going to go to transportation advertising, and that's going to open up the next module for this. And what I get in there, I found a few things that I can use on here. We're going to take this picture here, and I'm going to drop it right here, okay? And then we're going to take this one right here, and I'm going to drop it over here. As you can see, this is Santa Fe, this is for New York Central, and then I want one more. I'll take this one, and I'm going to drop it here. This is the Railway Passengers Assurance Company. These came stock with the program, and I think they're good enough to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these by the corner, and I'm going to shrink it down. I'm going to drop this up over here, and I'm going to shrink this just a little bit more. Granted, you can't read it all that well, but I'm not too concerned with it. So we'll do the same with this one. We'll put this one up over here, and we'll shrink that just a little bit more. We'll stick that right there. Now this one, I want to run it right in the center between them, but it's still too big. So we'll bring this down like this, and we'll put this right in the center, and we can actually shrink that just a little bit more like that. And I'll bring this one over like this, and this one over like this. So that's going to be the center wall that divides the front from the back. Now the thing to do with this now, the other thing I want to do is I also want to add stained glass above these doors, and these are going to be functional stained glass. So in order to do that, we have to go back to plugins, and then they have a thing here for stained glass, and it has stained glass photos. So what I'd like is this stained glass right here. So we click on it, and then we drop it here. So that looks like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this stained glass with that door, just like it is, and we're going to shrink it down. And we have it right to the edge of this door. See? And then I want to make this length even with the center of this column. So I'm going to bring this over here. That looks good like that. So now we have this. So then I'm going to right click it, duplicate, and we're going to put this right up to it. And then right click, duplicate, put this right up to this one. Now I'm not leaving a gap between them, okay? Now obviously we're a little bit too long, so what we can do is we can bring this one in just a little bit, and we're going to remove these because I want these all to be the same. So we got to get the first one right, like that. Let's duplicate, duplicate. All right, set this one in here like this. And this one in here like this. And then I'm going to control, click, click. And then we can go here. And I believe we can set these all up to be the same. Arrange, align. So we can go align them to the bottom. Let's see what this does. Top. Preview. Okay. So there we go. And now we can close that. Commit and close. All right. So now we can take this, duplicate, and we'll do another one over here. Duplicate, duplicate. Okay. And we'll set these up right here. Like that. And like that. And then that's our stained glass that's going to go over the top of that. Now if I wanted to, I could add another one in the center here. Just to give you an idea. There's no rounded ones. A nice rounded one would be nice here. So we go to plugins, circular. What do we have here? You know, we could possibly stick one in here, but I don't know. I think we'll pass on that. So I think that's what we'll end up with. And then what I'm going to do is when I print this out, I'm going to print these out separate. Okay, I'm going to move these down here, and set them all up, and I'm going to print them separately. And then when I print this whole thing here on the paper, I'm going to cut out a rectangle for these lights to fit into, these stained glass, and then I'll print these on acetate, the clear window plastic, and then I'm going to glue these into the cutouts. So then those will be working stained glass windows. And I think it'll look pretty good. And then once these are cut out, after it's glued to the foam core, I'm going to print out 2 of these, and I'm just going to print glue 1 to each side, and they should line up. And when I cut these doors out, it'll be a pass-through and it'll look the same on both sides. But I'm going to print one with this train board like this. This will go on the front side, and then I'll do another one on the other side with, I don't know, maybe bus information or something like that. So that's the idea. That's what we're going to do. And then the foam core will get glued inside the building. And then we do the same process for each of the 2 sides. Obviously using different things. I mean, we have several more doors to pick from. You know, I want to go with wood doors. So I'll probably use, let's see, residential doors. Yeah, we do something like these doors on a wood wall. So then if you go to materials again, and we could even go with the same stucco. Okay, I'm gonna come over here, we'll pick this, and I'll just draw another one real quick. And you drag this out like this, and we'll do it the same size. Let's bring this down. And then we'll take this and bring it down. I'm not going to do this exact, I have to go down and measure, but just to give you an idea, inside the 2 end units, okay, so doors, go residential doors, and then we'll take these doors and we can put one set right here, and then maybe another set over here. Alright, and then we'll glue this to the foam board and then set the foam board in, and this is the background of what you see through the windows, and there's the doors. And then the other thing I want to do is the floors. Let's get rid of these. Now the floors, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print, let's go back to materials, cement and stucco. Now the floor that goes to this, we're going to use, or I'm going to use something a little darker. I'm going to use something like this, okay? And I'm going to print out a whole sheet of just this. And this will be the floor that goes to that. And this will go on another piece of either, I'm thinking probably cardstock because it's thinner. And this will be the floor and this will be the wall. And I'll print out a sheet of this and we'll cut it to the size and just glue that right to the floor. So that's kind of the idea of what's going on here. And I think it'll look pretty good. And then this center section will be lit from above with LEDs, so these will show up really nice. I'll probably run a strip of maybe 3 lights from front to back on this side and another 3 on this side front to back. So that's 6 LEDs inside of here. And then on the side sections as well, we can, you know, I'm going to use the incandescent bulbs, so it'll give a little bit of a yellow hue to the side buildings. And there you go. That's the whole process, and that's what we're looking to do. So, thanks for watching my video. I hope this helped you a little bit. Visit my website, mikestrains.wordpress.com, for more things going on. And until next week, happy modeling, and see you then.